Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Kathy Thornburg. Yay! Big up yourself. Kathy, thanks so much for your support. You are awesome. And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so yesterday they had the Power Veto competition. Of course, feeds were down forever, I don't have to tell you that. But the players, we had William the HOH, 2 nominees, Emily and Dylan, and 3 extra players, Kevin, Dre, and Karen, and they are all extra. So this competition was sponsored by The Brick. I believe it was that, like, flip it to win it one, so it was played in rounds, which is why the feeds were down for, like, 6.5 hours. But anyway, Kevin won the Power Veto and $10,000 to spend at The Brick, and he already said he's giving that to his mommy. That's so nice. I think this was a really important win for Kevin because he really put himself on the shit list the other day with his antics. So now, by not using Power Veto, I think he's going to smooth some things over. We'll see. So Kevin was up in the HOH room with William, and he tells him, like, I'm not going to use the Power Veto. I'm going to keep your nominations the same. So then they're talking about who should go this week. So Kevin's like, well, I think that Dylan should stay because he's just going to give up when Emily goes home, and it'll be easy for us. But the real reason is because Kevin and Bruno think they have Dylan like this, and he's just going to, like, do whatever they want, which could be true. But anyway, if Emily stays, Kevin says that she's just going to latch on to Jackie, and that's not good for them. So then they also talk about the possibility of Bruno pulling in Dylan once Emily is gone. And then he's saying, like, oh yeah, and if Bruno has Dylan and you have me and I'm close to Bruno, like, that means you're gonna be protected if Dylan wins. Like, he's got this long thing, like, oh, because you're close to me and I'm close to Bruno and Bruno is gonna be close to Dylan. If Dylan wins HOH, you'll be safe. I feel like there's only so many, what's it called? Degrees of separation for that to work. I think after you get past, like, 2 or so, it's too far. It's too much. It's a stretch. So anyway, I think it's also hilarious because, like, what is he trying to say Dylan is going to do? Like, who's Dylan going to go after? Obviously, William's allies, even if it's not him. So, I mean, why would he want that? I think, at this point, William is just kind of placating Kevin. He's like, yeah, we'll get rid of Emily. Sounds good. All right, so then Bruno and Dylan were talking, and Dylan is like, I know that I've been a target since week 1. Like, I feel like I'm going this week. Everybody wants me out of the house. And he says there's no way he's going to campaign against Emily. His integrity is worth more than $100,000. You know what? Get the F out then, because this is Big Brother. No one cares about your integrity. So then, right? I mean, really. So then swap in Cindy for Dylan. She's talking to Bruno, and Bruno's like, yeah, Dylan thinks that he's automatically going, and Emily thinks that she's staying, but, like, nobody's even freaking talked to them yet. So they both want Dylan to stay. They agree that he's better for both of their games. Again, Bruno wants to use Dylan as, like, an attack dog and a meat shield for himself. So Bruno and Kevin touch base in the storage room, and Bruno is like, Ika is only looking out for herself and Dimitri's. Like, she doesn't give a crap about the rest of the 6. Why would she? And she's probably going to take a shot at Netta once her immunity's up, because she keeps talking crap about Netta, bringing up the immunity ending. So he feels like Ika is ready to attack. And Kevin's like, well, whatever, as long as it's not us. So Bruno's like, well, we need to make sure that Ika doesn't pull in Jackie, because that side is getting too big. You know, it's like 7-5 or whatever right now, but, like, Bruno's also getting nervous about Cindy, but we'll get there in a minute. So Bruno's like, we need to win this next HOH. I guess they're going to stop throwing them now. And they agree again. They both want Dylan to stay and be a meat shield for them. Okay, fine. So then Dimitri's is trying to work on Dre because she would prefer to see Dylan go this week. So Dimitri's is like, well, Emily is more likely to win competitions. Dylan only won that one because he's a big guy and he was really heavy, so he can make all that, like, liquid come out. Whatever, you guys know, you remember. So Dre's like, yeah, but I think that Emily would freaking lose her mind without Dylan here. And that's an argument that some people have been using to keep Dylan around, that Dylan would lose his mind. So I want to know in the comments, who do you think would be more messed up if the other person left? Do you think Dylan or Emily? Leave it in the comments. So then Dre brings up a really good point. She's like, yeah, it might be good for Bruno's game for Dylan to stay, but is it best for our games? Thank you, Dre. I'm really glad that she's picking up on this because they would be so stupid to get rid of Emily this week instead of Dylan, okay? Dylan is straight up gunning for Ika and Demetres. So, and it's so sad because Demetres is like pushing for Dylan to stay. It's ridiculous. I feel like Emily would be a lot more workable for them than Dylan because Dylan is super stubborn. Alright, speaking of Dylan, I did not get the flashback time for this, so I did not see it with my own eyes. I thought I saw a picture of it, but apparently Emily and Dylan kissed last night. That's all I'm going to say about that. Alright, so I think she was telling people about it today too, so I'm pretty sure it happened. But anyway, this morning Ika and Netta were chatting while doing their makeup, and Ika's planting some seeds here. It's getting pretty interesting. Ika says that Cindy and Bruno have been talking about Netta's attitude behind her back and like making all these comments, which is really funny because Ika has talked so much crap about Netta, but she's like, oh yes, Cindy and Bruno have been saying stuff about you. So Ika is really trying to push here that Bruno, Kevin, and Cindy are this tight alliance of 3, which they do have a season 3 alliance, but just recently that has started to crack a little bit. So Ika's like, yeah, when Kevin won the POV, the 3 of them went off together and celebrated on their own. Like, what was that all about? And Netta's like, yeah, Kevin doesn't even talk to me in here. So it's like, whatever. Netta always does that nervous laugh. But Ika says they've already started to break apart the 6. We need to make sure that they're not going to break the 2 of us apart. So this is where it gets really interesting because everybody's assuming that Netta is going to become the #1 target when her immunity's up. But if you think about it, Netta could really do some fancy footwork here. Like, if she decides to turn on Kevin and Bruno and Cindy and flip over to Ika and Demetres' side and just let the 2 of them go after each other, I feel like she could stick around for a while, right? I feel like it could be really good for her to flip over to Ika's side. That would be really interesting, but I don't know if I see her turning on Bruno this early in the game. You never know, though. So Netta, Kevin, and Bruno were talking in the blue bedroom. They were talking a lot about keeping Dylan, blah, 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 same shit. And then Bruno's like, I've been trying to tell the other side that I'm closer to Cindy, but you guys know, of course, that you're actually my core, blah, blah, blah. But that, I feel like, has kind of been negated by Kevin telling William that Bruno is his #1. So anyway, Bruno is reiterating, we need to make sure that we have Jackie because the other side's getting too big. We need the next HOH. Alright, so then, this is new. Bruno is now agreeing with Netta that William should go before Dre because William is really the glue that's holding that other side together, supposedly. I mean, somewhat, yeah, because he's close with Dre, he's close with Ika. He could probably pull in Jackie if he wanted to. They've got, like, this weird relationship where, like, I don't know. William doesn't trust her, but he likes her. I don't know. So he's also really good at competitions. So they're like, yeah, we need to take him out before Dre. But I don't think Kevin agrees with that because William is Kevin's link to the other side. I don't see Kevin wanting William out before Dre. But Kevin does reveal that Dylan offered him $2,500 doll hairs, to throw the power veto competition. Wow, that's against the rules. Okay, so Kevin and Bruno were then chatting alone, and Bruno is all like, Ika is building an army to take us out, and I've heard him say this so many times now. This is the new Sarah is poison. Now it's Ika is building an army. I mean, he is right. Like, she's doing a really good job getting people together to go after them. So it's like, wow, he called it with Sarah last time and she won. Is Ika gonna win this season? I don't know. But this is the new poison of the season. So Bruno is also a little bit worried that Cindy is gonna flip sides and work with Ika's group. He's saying Netta's more loyal to us. they do have that tight thing with Cindy because they were on the same season, but at the same time, they've noticed that she does not get along with Netta as much as she used to. She freaking loves Ica, and she is the type of player that will flip to the other side. So they're like, oh shit, like, we need to look out for that. But they feel like they will have some sort of warning when the other side is ready to strike because they think that Ica is going to go for Netta first. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So they come up with this plan to pull in Jackie because they need her more than ever. So they're going to tell her that Kevin is saving her this week by not using the power of veto because there's a good chance that she would be the replacement nominee. So they're really going to try and work that angle. What do you know? Jackie walks into the room. The plan is now in motion. So Kevin's like, oh man, it's a good thing I won that veto because one of you two would have gone up in whoever's place. So Bruno's like, yeah, we really owe you big time, Kevin. Oh my god. Okay, so then they're telling Jackie the next HOH is crucial. She's like, I know, I really want to win. So she says that if she does win, she would put Ica and Dimitri's up on the block. And I can just see Bruno like, yes, yes, yes. And I think in that situation, he would want Dimitri's to go home. Because they were talking earlier about how Dimitri's is in a really good spot right now. He doesn't have many people coming after him other than like Dylan. And I have to agree with that. Dimitri's is in a great spot right now. But Bruno would also use that to be like, hey, Ica, we saved you. Like, you need to stay loyal to us. Psh, I don't know if that's going to work on her. But anyway, a little while later, Emily and Dylan were venting to Bruno about the power of veto. They're like, why isn't Kevin using the veto? Like, that's what alliances are for. You see where you are in the alliance? So then they're pissed because they're like, why was he gunning for this veto so hard if he's not going to use it? Like, why wouldn't he just throw it to one of us? Maybe you should just freaking win it on your own merit. But they feel dumb because they feel if the roles were reversed, they would use it on Kevin or Bruno. So they're just like, what the F? So then Bruno leaves because Dylan starts like hardcore hitting on Emily and like, I'm sorry, but it was disgusting. Like, he keeps saying to her, like, I want your body, like, I want your whole body, and, like, all this nasty stuff. And, like, his heavy breathing on top of it, it's just too much. It's too much. Okay, so, anyway, Dre and Ica have a little strategy chat. And Dre will not be swayed. She wants Dylan out this week. Good for you, Dre. Stick to your guns, because she sees that it would be a huge mistake to get rid of Emily. So she's like, the other side thinks that they can control Dylan. That is exactly why we need to get rid of him. So then they were talking about next week. They want to target Jackie next before they go after Bruno, which kind of sucks. I don't think that's the best move for them because they should try. I mean, it's hard because Ica and Dre have such a shitty relationship with Jackie, but they really could use her on their side. I don't know. I'd have to think about the numbers more, but I feel like they can do better than targeting Jackie. So anyway, Dylan and Kevin were talking, and Kevin's like, I'm sorry, but I can't use the power veto this week. It's too risky. Somebody else from our alliance could go up on the block. And Dylan's like, all right, I get it, man. But then he says he wants Emily to stay this week, and Kevin's like, are you sure? Because there's a lot of people who want you to stay around. And Dylan's like, well, I don't want to be part of that alliance. Oh, all right. So then the house guests were on an outdoor lockdown. I'm pretty sure they thought it was Easter today. Because Karen was like, hey guys, it's Easter. And everybody was like, okay. That's so sad that they don't know what day it is. But anyway, it's not Easter, in case you were wondering. But they went back inside the house a little while later to find a birthday party. Woo! So the party, it was a joint party for Bruno, Dre, and Cindy. They all have April birthdays and they're really close together. So there were tons of desserts, like tons, and they looked amazing. They also got presents. I think they got like artwork and stuff that their family and friends made for them, so that's pretty cool. And Bruno got a card from his kids. He was super emotional about that. And of course, Dylan was crying his eyes out, thinking about his family. What a birthday party, man. That reminds me of my 26th birthday. Train wreck. But anyway, Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The power veto ceremony should be tomorrow, and I don't see Kevin using it unless something crazy happens, but let me know what you think, and until tomorrow, much love.